Alright guys, so in this episode we're going to be adding time travel to our React project in the React documentation. Okay, so I'm going to open up my CodePen, codepen.io, and I'm going to get my editor open. I'm going to go into projects. Whoops, I'll just go back because that was actually showing up what I wanted to see anyway. There it is, Tic Tac Toe. So we have all our stuff saved, I hope. Yeah, we do. Okay, so let's get right into it. So now, adding time travel. As a final exercise, let's make it possible to go back in time to the previous moves in the game. So we'll have a history array that will represent all the moves and the board states. Okay. Okay. Setting up the initial state for the game component. So we're setting up the initial state for the game component with its constructor. Have the game component and give it its initial state. There it is, constructor props, super props this dot state. So if I do that again, I'll run out constructor. I'll have passing props to it, which will be super colon props. Then we'll have that, and we'll do this of state equal to history, because an array of squares, an array 9 dot fill null. Okay, now we'll have is next, is x is next, and this will be set to true. Okay, very good, so we can delete that one above now. Constructor, so we have our constructor, we're adding our state to the game component. So now delete the constructor in board, place this dot state dot squares I with this dot props dot squares I in board's render square. Okay, this dot state with this dot props, so state dot squares I with this dot props squares I, and we're going to remove the constructor from board because we don't need it anymore. So we didn't need a constructor in board anymore. So now we have this dot props dot square. Place this handle click with this dot props dot on click I in board's render square. This dot props dot on click in board's render square. This dot props dot on click. Alright, very good. The board component now looks like this. Square on click div stop props dot on click. Alright, so we'll return that. Same thing. Very good. So we're doing that right. Handle click. Okay. I click I. Alright. So we're going to update the history component to render the most recent history. Most recent history status using an if-else statement. Game's render component. So now we want that up there. Save. Const history, this dot state dot history, const current history, history line -1. Oh wow. Board. So we'll be adding board here. On click, that's handle on click. Turn board right. So handle squares, current squares, on click. Stop handle on click, and we'll have a div of status below game info. Remove that now and type in status. Alright, so we can save. Now what we're going to do is keep going. Refactoring the board's render function. Board row, okay, so board. Go up the board now. Class name board row. If class name status. What the heck? Class board. Render return. Class name. Render return. I can remove this. Apparently. Return. We needn't have it anymore. And there we go. Whoopsie daisies. Handle click is not a function. Finally, we need to move the handle click method from the board component to the game component. We also need to modify handle click because the game component state is structured differently. Alright. Handle click. We're concatenating onto handle click. So the handle click method from the board component. To the game component. History. Alright, so I'm gonna move this to the game component now. I'll have it in here. Right. Very good. Unlike the array push method, you might be more familiar with the concat method. Doesn't mutate the original array, so we prefer it. So in the game's render method we can add moves here. Okay. So in the game's render method we can add these moves. Ordered list moves. List moves. User ID for database IDs to differentiate different users. It's strongly recommended that you assign proper keys whenever you build dynamic lists. Okay, very nice, very nice. So we'll finish this later on. I'm going to be implementing time travel in the next videos. Thanks for watching and like and subscribe.